morning or afternoon, wherever you are watching. Welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I am a makeup artist and artist with Mascara Beauty. And I typically upload a video here to IGTV once a week, giving you some tips and tricks on makeup application. And I don't normally get a lot of I'm a relatively small account. I don't get a lot of questions. I try to reach out to you guys and see what's going on as far as like concerns, but I really, if I'm being totally honest, I don't get huge responses here because I'm still growing and that's okay. But lately I have been getting a lot of questions and they're all about redness. And if you are looking at my bare face right now, you might see why I might be an authority on the subject. I have a rather red face. And that's something that I struggle with and something that I try to adjust and get rid of. But as I get older, I'm just realizing that it is what it is. But lately, you all have been reaching out to me about how I cover redness, where this redness comes from. So we're going to talk about redness. We're going to go deep. This might be, I'm hoping it's not too long of a video, but I really want to make sure that I get as much information to you guys as possible regarding redness. I think it's something we all struggle with, and covering it and finding solutions for it is like a big thing in the world of beauty. So I'm going to kind of show you how I recommend my clients cover redness, why they have redness, and kind of talk to you about mine. So I have this, I'm going to try to get as close into frame as I can because I want you all to see. I have only my eye makeup on. I have no foundation on at all. In the morning, I prep my skin with I'm testing a new toner. So I'm testing a toner, and then I use hyaluronic acid in the mornings and at night. And hyaluronic acid is something that works really well for me. Do know that any product recommendations I recommend as far as skincare, they are based on my experiences and what has worked for me. And if I recommend them to you, just keep that in mind. Everybody's skin is different. So, just bear that in mind. And if you have severe redness, definitely seek out the advice of a dermatologist. So I'm going to dive in to kind of what happens with redness. So why do we have it? If the camera moves, I apologize. Redness is typically an indicator of inflammation in the skin. My redness used to be far worse than this because my skin was inflamed because I didn't take care of it. I used to wash my face with a Dove bar in the shower and then just use like a pump of like a natural-ish lotion. Pretty much that is made for the body. I would use it on my face because I didn't know any better, or I just didn't care. I was lazy. It could have been all of those things. So that's kind of where I started. And then I started cleaning up my skincare act. So now I have really great skincare. I use Mascara Beauty's Tres Leches system. I use the cleanser, which is a cleanser with the active ingredient lactic acid. It's very gentle, it's non-foaming, and that's really important for me because I have rather sensitive skin and I am prone to eczema and redness. I also use their milk moisturizer, which if you have been here for any length of time, you know that I truly do recommend that moisturizer. It is the only one that helps kind of keep the moisture in my skin, and I truly love it. It's a great value. It lasts a really long time, and I just truly love that moisturizer. I don't really stray from it too often, and when I do, I always ask myself, why the heck did you even do that? It's silly. So that is a great product. Also, I do, like I said, I use hyaluronic acid. There are so many out there. The one I use is by Use Skincare, and full disclosure, Use Skincare sends me essentially PR. They send me products to try and give my opinion on. I have talked to you all about them. I don't love every single product they send me, but the majority of them actually work well for me, and I've been happy with most of the products. I do plan on doing an entire kind of roundup of my entire collection from them and to kind of give you my thoughts. But you can get one from The Ordinary, you can get one from Revlon. I mean, they're all making hyaluronic acid. It's very in right now. So that's kind of what I use as far as that. I also mask once a week, and I exfoliate twice a week. Now, all of those things are gonna change based on your skin. And that's something I talk to my clients about. What does your skincare look like? Especially with redness, because redness can be caused by overexfoliation, over product use. So we talk about like, what is it you're doing to your skin? And let's find out if it's truly redness the way you're just naturally going to have it, or is it an irritation to your skin. So cleaning up your skincare act is going to help bring that inflammation down. I love a vitamin C, like a true vitamin C oil, a brightening oil, because it does help with redness and inflammation. Good brands of vitamin C. Let me see, what's the name of the company? Beauty Counter has a really great vitamin C oil. The Ordinary has a really great vitamin C oil. Both are really affordable. The tip to know a good vitamin C oil is that the bottle is a light blocking bottle. Light, like sunlight and all that, can break down vitamin C, true vitamin C. So if you're getting vitamin C in a clear bottle, it's not the highest grade of vitamin C oil, and you want to make sure you're using the best products in your face. So make sure you're being mindful that your bottle of true vitamin C is a light blocking bottle. That can help brighten your skin. There's a bunch of things that you can kind of seek out to see if you can help your redness, but the first thing is making sure it's not an inflammation issue. Now, I know mine is not an inflammation issue because it was much worse, and this is much lighter. Which is, believe it or not, I will pop a picture in the video here of a makeup-free face from last year, and before I started using milk regularly, and you can see the difference in my redness. So you can see I do have it. It's here. It's pretty widespread. I have it all up here, but you can see down here I have lighter tones. You can see right here my skin is much darker. This is a much deeper red. You can see it almost has a purple tone in it. Above my brows is really deep too. So that's the other thing I want to talk to you about, the severity of redness. So say your skin is not inflamed and you're just red, or maybe it is inflamed and you're just red, and you come to me for a color match with Mascara Beauty. The difference in covering redness with this system, I think, is kind of awesome, because I can't tell you how many people come to me with a traditional foundation and say, my redness is always peeking through. I can never cover my redness. I can never cover my redness and match the rest of my face. I always have to take bronzer down my neck. And that's sometimes something we have to do, but you should never be like totally disjointed here. Everything should kind of flow. And I talk to you all often about our faces are not one color. A foundation shouldn't be either. When you're putting a one-layer foundation over all of your redness, all of your light tones, it's going to look unnatural, and you're going to spend a lot of time trying to build the natural back into it. And that's something that in the end really doesn't look natural at all. So for me, I'm able to find solutions for my redness with color. So specifically, someone in the comments asked me yesterday how to cover it. So I'm just going to show you how I do my makeup. I do it a million times. You guys have seen it, but we're going to talk about the specific application as far as what I'm doing to cover my redness. So this is my palette. I have a Big Daddy. This is a double decker. I like to have all my favorite colors in one spot. These specifically are my complexion shades. So this color here is Mango. This is a great color for covering redness, but look how warm it is. Now, I can only talk in specifics of myself, so I'm going to be this is what works for me, but this is also what I see for others. So know that when I consult with you about your colors and your skincare, it might be a different conversation, but I can only use myself as an example. So look at my skin. I have good warmth here, but look at my neck. I have white. I know there's no such thing as white tones, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to talk about white tones. I have white in my neck. It's very light. I have white here, but I have green here. I have white here. I have white here. I have red, 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 and then whiter tones here. I also have some yellow tones mixed into it. This all plays into it. So we are taught in color theory, right, with color correction, that if you have red, you should put yellow or green. Now, because I have green and yellow around my mouth, and I even have some under here, if I put green on top of green, what's gonna happen? it actually tends to pull you a little bit green all over, and you tend to look sickly. And then it doesn't necessarily match because green is a cool color. It's not a warm color. So this warmth here, this warmth here, this warmth here is all not going to match well. So oftentimes with our redness, it brings a warmth to the skin, and we want to make sure that we're kind of respecting the warmth that's in your skin and making sure it carries from here to here without getting too technical. Now, this color Mango that I often recommend for my clients, I actually just use under my eyes because it is so orange and warm. I use it to color correct the blue. So I'm just gonna lay that with my finger, and that's a whole different thing. We're not talking about blue. We can do dark under eyes another day, but this is just a step that I do because it works for me. Mango is actually too warm for this area, but it's great for this. So I tend, because look at this section of my face is almost purple, it's so red. This section, while I do have some broken veins and capillaries, is red and more surfacey. So the depth of red really can vary. In this case, this is a little more surfacey than this. So I use a shade, okay, so I had to pause the video. So if you see a jump, that's why. Owen came in. He's not feeling well today, so we're gonna work with Owen a little bit. So if you hear Angry Birds in the background, that's what he's playing. So like I said, Mango is perfect for my under eyes, and it's perfect for my chin because it's a darker red. It's more deep, and this is a little bit more surfacey. It's not necessarily a surfacey red, and that's something that's totally different as far as how I approach that with color correcting. But I need something warm here, but not too warm, because like I said, we want everything to match. So I actually use a color called Amber. I'm almost to the bottom of the tin here. And typically I will recommend for color correction this brush. He does. He'll be back from school in a little bit. I typically recommend with color correction this brush. It's the B squared. Okay. So I'm going to pick up some of that amber and kind of show you how I go in and color correct. Now this is amber, like I said, and it has warmth to it. It is darker than if I swatched it on the darker end of my, like the lighter end of my face. The light is not perfect. It's a little darker than my neck. So it's not a perfect match for my neck. I actually use a different color there. And you'll see in the end that everything really matches up. So I'm gonna stipple and press. So the first thing you wanna do is make sure you're pressing your maker with liquid, cream, whatever you're using. Push it into the skin when color correcting. But this is going to really make a difference with the redness. Now you'll notice I'm not bringing it all the way down because like I said, down here is lighter. Your belly hurts. Do you want to go potty?
No, I don't want to.
Okay, so we've got the amber kind of color correcting the redness. And I put it a little bit over that Mango under my eyes. Now, I'm going to bring it up here. I'm using very little product. I don't like to pack on the product. Now that doesn't look too warm over here, but if I put it down here, it wouldn't match here. So your skin is a different color where you're red. Just like it's a different color if you have large age spots or sunspots or melasma. And we have to address those issues. We need to find solutions for them. It's not always going to be the same. So the next color I'm going to use, make sure I have the right one because I switched them all up, is White Peach. It's a much fairer color, and I'm going to put it along my jaw. Now look at that versus my neck. It is a dead-on match. So that's why I put it here, and then I just kind of blend the center. So both my amber and my White Peach match perfectly, and I don't have any lines of demarcation where colors are varying. Now, I've left my chin open because it is a different animal. My chin is dark. We've already discussed this. So I'm going to take that dark mango color and I'm going to mix it in with my amber. So I'm going to take my amber like I did on my redness here, and I'm going to barely tap into mango just to deepen it up and give it a little bit more warmth. And that's going to help target that area. I am so mindful of this area because I do have such green and yellow around my mouth. I need to be respectful of those colors that are naturally in my skin because they will pull warmer. I will end up with a very yellow looking jaw, and we don't want to have that. So I'm just patting that in. I'm really running it in. Now it doesn't look dark, it doesn't look orange because it matched that tone. That's the key. So we'll go back into our amber and then just take that over our redness here. And like I said, this moves a lot faster when I'm doing this without explaining. So don't think that I'm spending, you know, hours on my makeup every day. And you know, everybody's colors are different. I'm not going to recommend the same color for you that I'm wearing, but when it comes to color correction and redness, because I deal with it literally every day of my life, I am kind of an expert. I kind of know what I'm doing as far as color correcting, and I've really even been working on studying it a little bit further because no face I see is any different than any other. So again, going along my jaw with that white peach. I'll even kind of stipple it everywhere just to marry everything together. We want everything to look really natural and match up really beautifully. So check my work. And you can see this is really, I don't look makeup-y. There's a nice glow on my skin. I don't look heavily made up or cakey, and that's important. So addressing the forehead, I typically will use a very small amount of product on the forehead, less than I do anywhere else, because I have texture here. Like I have wrinkles and all kinds of things. So I try to keep the amount of product I put on my forehead pretty minimal. So I'm just working that around. Very little goes a very long way. So I don't have to pack on a ton of product. Bless you, baby. And I'm just gonna add a little of that white peach there because like I said, I have pretty light tones on my forehead as well. And I wanna make sure that I'm not packing on the warm tone. Now, that's my foundation. Look at my neck versus my face. I'm gonna run a little bit of bronzer down my neck because I have warmth here. So I'm using Bella Cream bronzer. Makes me talk funny. And I'm gonna run that right down my neck to kind of marry everything together. This is a step. I love you, sweet boy. This is a step I don't always recommend for everybody, but if you have redness, it's a helpful little tip to kind of just warm your neck up a little bit. Now everything matches really nicely. So my next step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run my sponge over my entire face. And this sponge is super important. Any sponge, you can buy any sponge you want, but make sure it is damp and super squishy. And when you squeeze it out super well. I soak mine, squeeze it out, squeeze it out, squeeze it out, squeeze it out into a towel. Then I put it on my shelf, go do a few things, and then I come back and then it's perfect. I just wanna make sure that I'm not using too much water because what it's gonna do is pick up your makeup. So I'm literally pressing. And it takes a few minutes. Take your time with this step. Really get that skin-like finish. Getting under that under eye. Along your crevices. Because we have put just amount of a light layer. We shouldn't be picking up any makeup, but it's really gonna blend it out gorgeous. Okay, so that is done. We're gonna contour. Contour usually, if you are incredibly red, I usually go on the more ash side, ash Astoria, depending on that. But I'm using olive because in wintertime I need a little help with warmth. And I haven't yet left this brush. This brush is really versatile. And even though it is very thick on this end, you can still contour with it. And I'll show you how I do the cheekbone with that. So don't think you need to have like 20 brushes. Okay, so I'm just taking that along my hairline, and I'll move more towards an Astoria as I get tanner. Staying out of the center of my forehead, I want that to be nice and bright. And then I'll take it under my cheekbone. I'm pinching the brush a bit when I load up, finding my natural shadow, and then I'm just gonna kind of take it there. I have a fuller face, so I don't necessarily hook my contour. It really depends on the face shape for that. Then I'll take even a little bit here. My light is changing, so maybe it'll get better. It's a little gloomy today. So I'm just gonna kind of blend that up. I like to blend my contour as I go. That's always a personal preference. And then we'll get into highlight just because while we're here, we'll talk about under eye brightening. briefly. And I just run a little bit under my neck. Okay, so let's talk about the brightener shade. I will typically recommend an under eye brightener. Totally your preference whether you actually want to use it or not. Some people like a really bright under eye, some people don't. The brush I like to use is actually not in my cup. So I'm going to show you with my finger. I'm going to use Moonlit and I'm going to take it right under here. Not near under my eye. I'm going to kind of blend it out down by my nose, so I don't have a huge amount of product under my eye, causing creasing or accentuating any lines that I have. So we're just gonna brighten that up. So all these steps end up making you look super natural and flawless while paying respect to that redness. Watch the table bug. And the last step we'll do is add a little pop of blush. Blush I usually recommend, I kind of let you choose what you like, but I do, when dealing with clients with excess redness like myself, I tend to choose wisely. Dahlia is a beautiful color on someone with redness. It just works really well. But lately I've been using Tropicana with a hint of Royal. It's so pretty, but it's glossy. It has like a glossier finish, so it really gives a beautiful dewy kind of cheek, which I love for spring. But usually I will let you kind of pick what you want. It's very subtle, this shade. I'm actually just going to do the Tropicana today. And everybody has a preference on blush, but don't skip it. It's very important. Poor guy, you can hear him with his stuffy nose. Okay. And that is it. I hope, my goodness, I hope this was helpful for you. Just about. I hope this is helpful. Like I said, I've been getting so many questions about redness. I know this was a bit of a longer video, but I felt like it was really important that we kind of chat about it and see, you know, why I do the things I do, why I ask you the questions I do when I'm dealing with clients with redness, and that one layer of foundation isn't always the answer for redness, nor is typical color correction. So don't fear. You can't reach out and, you know, ask me some questions about redness. It's not going to turn into a sales pitch. I do promise you that. I am always willing to help those that are looking for it, but I'm not going to be pushy. But I love talking to you all. I'm so happy we're getting so much great engagement on here. Oh no, and I'm going to go take care of my guy who's not feeling so well. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.